Okay, so you're interested in getting a Spanish residency. I understand, I get it because I was once in your position. And you're in luck because in this video, I will share a step by step process on how I got my 5-year Spanish residency through Pareja de Hecho, including all the requirements I've submitted, the cost or how much I've spent, and the timeline. So stick around. But first, let's do a bit of story time. I want to share with you my journey from Croatia to Barcelona. So, for my last video, I mentioned that I only stayed in Croatia for 5 months despite having a 1 year residence visa. And the main reason for this is I fell in love with someone whom I met during my 10-day visit in Barcelona. No, I didn't, or we didn't get married if that's what you're thinking. So here's what happened. When I got approved for Croatia's digital nomad visa back in September 2021, instead of flying directly to Split, Croatia, I decided to spend 10 days in Barcelona. During those 10 days, I was working in the morning and then exploring the city in the afternoon until the evening. On the fourth day, I was starting to get bored, so I decided to open the Bumble dating app, hoping to meet locals, preferably. I matched with a handful of people, but decided to meet up and have dinner with only one person. After that dinner, we continued spending time together in the days that followed until it was time for my flight to Croatia. To be honest, I didn't think much of what was happening. I was grateful that someone was giving me a tour of Barcelona. And for me, at least, it was non committal because I know that I will be leaving soon for Croatia. And I can't really do the whole long distance relationship thing. I've been there, done it. It's really not for me. Anyway, when I settled in Croatia, we kept communicating. And then after a month, we decided to meet up again in Italy, which was kind of our middle ground. We spent 2 weeks traveling in different cities of Italy, and he also went back to Croatia with me and stayed there for 2 months. Now, fast forward a few months, we decided that I moved to Barcelona so we can be together. I work remotely, which means I have the flexibility to move around and work from anywhere. Then, within weeks, I was navigating the Spanish bureaucracy to become a legal resident. And how do we do that? Through a process called Pareja de Hecho. It's a registered domestic or civil partnership. Now, if you're curious about the process, the challenges, and whether it's right for you, then I suggest you keep watching. So, why did we choose to do Pareja de Hecho? Well, as you can see, here in Spain, Pareja de Hecho is a legal status for unmarried couples who want certain rights and benefits like residency. For instance, my partner is an EU citizen, but he's not a Spanish citizen. However, he has been working and living here in Barcelona for more than 5 years, which made us eligible to apply or to register for Pareja de Hecho. And for me, it was the simplest and easiest way to get residency without marriage. There are also other ways where I can apply for residency at that time, like a student visa or a working visa. But the Pareja de Hecho was really by far the simplest and easiest way for me. Now let's dive into the application process. So to formalize your relationship into a civil partnership, you will have to go to a notary. Once that is done, the notary will submit your signed declaration to the municipal council. And then all you have to do now is wait for the confirmation document from the municipal council. It can be emailed to you or it can be mailed to you, it depends. And once you have that document, you can begin your Spanish residency application. Now, for the Spanish residency requirements, here's what you'll need. First is the Pareja de Hecho confirmation document from the municipal council. Next would be the ID of the EU citizen partner, both the passport and the residence card, or they call it the green card. Next is the empadronamiento, or the proof of cohabitation. It will show that both of you are living in the same address, or both of you are registered in the same home address. And then the EU citizen or the working partner's employment contract, or they call it vida laboral, as well as the payslips or nomina. And then proof of sufficient savings or funds from both parties, both the EU citizen and the non-EU citizen, and then the private health insurance for the non-EU citizen, that's me, and then the criminal background certificate for the non-EU citizen, showing no criminal record, of course. Now, for the fees, we paid a total of 725 euros. We paid 120 euro to the notary for the Pareja de Hecho registration, and then we paid 605 euros to the lawyer who processed and submitted my Spanish residency application. Navigating the Spanish bureaucracy is really no joke, and it's challenging, especially if you don't speak the language. I initially planned on doing all of this on my own, but my partner insisted that we hire and consult a lawyer because one wrong move in my application can either be delayed or denied, which is also why I highly recommend that you consult a lawyer instead of doing this on your own. Now for the timeline, here's how it went. March 7, 2022, I officially moved to Barcelona on a tourist Schengen visa, which meant I had 90 days to stay within the Schengen area, or I have to go back to Croatia or the Philippines. It depends on the circumstances at that time, but thankfully I didn't have to do any of those. And then March 29th, 2022, my partner and I went to a notary to formalize our relationship into civil partnership or Pareja de Hecho. Then April 2022, we started communicating with a lawyer to understand the residency process and prepare all the requirements. Thankfully, I was able to use my NBI clearance from my non-lucrative visa application because it was still valid at that time. And then May 2nd, 2022, we received our Pareja de Hecho confirmation document from Generalitat de Catalunya, Departamento de Justicia. Once we had that document, we submitted everything to the lawyer, including all the requirements I've mentioned earlier. And on May 26, 2022, the lawyer submitted all my documents for my Spanish residency application. Once that is submitted, I was able to legally stay in Spain for more than 90 days until a resolution was given. So I was given this document that I can show to the policia just in case someone asks me. Also, it's important to note that when your residence application is approved, the date where you submitted your documents is actually the date or the start date of your residency and not the date when you get the approval, which meant that by May 26, 2024, I'm already eligible to apply for Spanish citizenship. And then by September 7th, I received a favorable resolution and got 5 years legal residency. And then September 19th is my appointment to the policia to get my TA card. All I have to bring is myself, of course, a photo, the resolution document, and the original passport. And then 45 days later, 6 weeks, then I got my residence card, the physical card. So yeah, it was I was given 5 years from 2022 until the 2027, which means 5 years that gave me enough time to apply for my Spanish citizenship. Moving to Spain for me wasn't linear or direct. I had to take a detour after my non-lucrative visa application was denied. And even then, I can't believe my luck when I got approved for Croatia's digital nomad visa almost immediately. My 5-month stay in Split, Croatia was lovely, and I really enjoyed all the time I spent there and everything that Split has to offer. But when an opportunity came for me to move to Spain, I didn't even think twice because getting a residence permit brings me much closer to becoming a Spanish citizen. Indeed, it was a leap of faith and one of the most rewarding decisions I've made in my life because I get to be with my partner and I get to be a Spanish resident. Talk about hitting two birds with one stone. But not only that, after 2 years, I was able to apply for Spanish citizenship. All I can say is life is good. And that's it. We reached the end of my story. If you're considering Pareja de Hecho or another path to residency, I hope this video gave you some sort of clarity and inspiration. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. And if you have questions, feel free to send me an email or drop your questions in the comments below. Hasta luego!